this next group I want to talk about, these are people that aren't worried about it. They're happy to reconcile human theories of how we got here with God. For them, and even Pope Francis and others, or it was Pope John Paul II, he said, you know what? We speak with authority in matters of faith and the scriptures and the church, but science, we're not going to get into a spat with science. I mean, they have their narrative of how we got here. We have our narrative, and we believe they could be harmonious in many ways, but they don't want to get in that whole Galileo fight again, right? Where they basically told Galileo to keep his mouth shut and not talk about the heliocentric solar system. Even though the church knew good and well that was true, they just didn't think society was ready yet. That what it would do to people, what it would do to faith, what it would do to those things. And so most Catholics I talk to tend to be very comfortable with this idea of theistic evolution. Not all, but many, that's how they're brought up, especially if you're using allegorical interpretation of the Bible. You can see how you could easily reconcile the days of creation with epochs of time, and it's more of a story to tell about God's purpose, the fall of man, the story of redemption, that sort of thing. The thing where John Paul II would not bend on was God creating humans in the image of God, because that's key for the Catholic faith, right? For the Christian faith. Even this idea of the fall, original sin, we had to be alienated from God for the whole point of the Messiah coming to make any sense and the reconciliation with God. And so he said, whether God used proto-humans like Australopithecines up to Cro-Magnon, and then he put in a soul into that creature, and that's when humanity started, or whether it's like the Genesis account said, he said, that doesn't matter as much. But we do need to believe that men and women are created in the image of God. How God did that, not so important. That he did it, absolutely important. And so I think that's a good distinction, a good red line that John Paul II made. The problem, of course, is from a scientific camp and then from a more fundamentalist camp, both of those sides are going to be like compromisers, decide which side of the fence you want to be on, stop straddling these two worlds. But this is like that's pitting it like a spiritual world versus a material world. But like I said, many Christians are scientists. They love to study the world, and they want to be knowledgeable and not ignorant about the things of God. All right, so those are the two of those kind of in-between theories. And like I said, you could believe these and not believe in theistic evolution, but I would dare say probably most people who are gap theorists or day-age theorists are some sort of theistic evolutionist. It just is generally how it works.